Parlays. I'll be your host, Allie Burns. And joining me from the Insider's Room all the way in Canada is our friend Nick Parsons. Nick, how are you doing today, friend?
I am doing fantastic, Allie. Our second show, I thought our first went decently. We gave out a few winners there, so I thought that was really good. So anybody who watched that, I think they would have got a lot out of it.
And I think everybody also learned, don't listen to me when I talk about the Texans. That's a very important thing to learn early on.
That was interesting, wasn't it? The way that game played out there, especially with the total. It just landed right on 54 there. It was so close. Some would have had 53.5. Others would have had 55. And so, yeah, it was really close.
Well, you can't win them all, you know?
Yeah.
And anyone who bets on sports already knows that. But I do have some decent games that are slated for tonight that we can talk about. Of course, what's on everybody's mind was that insane double overtime Toronto Raptors Boston Celtics game that happened a few days ago.
Right.
You picked the winner on that one. Again, I was wrong. That's okay. But yeah, what did you think about that game? It was intense.
That was an intense game. And of course, the total probably never would have gone over the number, or it definitely would not have if it didn't go to overtime. And then they really did start scoring there. I had a play on the over as a premium selection over at Picks and Parlays on that one. And then on the show, yeah, I had the Raptors there. So here we are. We're at game 7. So, this comes down to experience in my books here for the Raptors. I think that's really going to count in this game. I do have a play on this game, and I just want to double check exactly here we go. I do have a play on this game on the side. And so I wanted to focus on the total, because this total is set at 204.5, Allie, and this is the lowest total so far in the series.
Yeah.
And not only that, it's the lowest total so far in the entire bubble. And not only that, it's the lowest total for either of these teams for the whole season. And so I'm that I'm a contrarian. And so I just think I've seen a lot of people think this is going to be a defensive affair. I'm kind of leaning the other way. I kind of think that this one's going to sneak over. I think this is going to be a battle. I think these offenses are finally going to start to show up a little bit here, just like we saw in those overtimes, because that's when they really did start scoring points. And so, yeah, that's going to be my suggestion on this particular one. But what about you? When you're looking at it?
Okay, so we could kind of like bring this up for a discussion too for our viewers at home. And by the way, viewers at home, hi, I'm so rude. I didn't even say hello. You guys feel free to like and comment and ask us any questions you have. We'll do our best to answer them for you. But from a Joe Public perspective, when the odds makers set a total this low, I would think that Joe Public, it would just be over and over and over, because no way could a game 7 go this low. What are the odds makers thinking of when they set a total like this? Are they thinking what the public's going to do, or are they thinking like this is never going to happen? What are they thinking?
Well, ultimately, in the end, the odds makers are just trying to get half the people to wager on one side and half the people to wager on the other. And
Right.
so I think they looked at this game and they think, okay, well, this went to double overtime. These are two exhausted teams. And this never would have even gotten, this wouldn't even have gotten to the score wouldn't even have gotten to 200 if it hadn't have gone to overtime.
Right.
So those are the two factors I think they're looking at mostly.
Well, I agree with this, because Jaylen Brown had 31 points. Kyle Lowry had 33 points. For a guy like Donovan Mitchell, who scores 40 in a game, 31-33 sounds like a good number, but then you factor in they did play 2 overtimes. So how many points really did they score? And yeah, defense. I'm with you on this under. I've been riding this under the whole time, and I've been riding the Celtics the whole time. So I'm not getting off of that train, because how I feel about Brad Stevens. We don't have to go over it again.
Okay, we have Rycape in the audience here on YouTube, and he's saying Game 7s trend to the under in NBA, and so that is a good point as well. But
nice call.
yeah. So yeah, no, that's going to be a really intense game. As I say, I have a play on the side there. I've been doing really well with my playoff picks. So if you guys want to go check that out, you can do that over at picksandparlays.net. But yeah, I'm gonna be a contrarian on this one, and so my play for the show here today will be on the over in the Celtics Raptors.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go under in the Celtics Raptors, and I'm gonna take the Celtics again.
Okay.
But listen to him because he's the boss, applesauce. Okay, so let's move into some football. Now this, oh my gosh, there's a bird like right outside of my door. And I'm really afraid it's going to fly into my house.
Oh, wow.
We're live here, people. We're live, all right? So I want to talk about the Saints and the Buccaneers. Now, this is a big one because it's like not just, a new beginning of a new era of NFL. This is because of the pandemic. This is a new era of NFL because Tom Brady doesn't play for the Patriots anymore. And now he's going to go head to head against like the other big veteran player in the NFL. I mean, these guys are a dying breed. The Manning is gone. The other Manning is gone. They're dying off. So, and Breeze and Brady are both on their way out. I'm excited about this game, but I'm leaning Saints here. I got to tell you that right now. I'm leaning towards the Saints.
I'm with you. Okay. I think that, I think, Tampa feels like what the Cleveland Browns were to everyone last year. Everyone was so high on Cleveland. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So many things have to go right for Tampa here to make this all work. And they've done nothing yet. They haven't been on the field of play. I mean, I'm not doubting the talent in every single position, but chemistry, it takes time. So I like the Saints as well in this matchup. I think that, Breeze will have had this one circled on his calendar. I mean, it's the first game, but I mean, why not send a message in this game to Tom and to everybody in that division and to the rest of the league, and especially in his house. He sort of put his foot in his mouth at the beginning of the entire pandemic and everything. He quickly made amends and everything. But I mean, that only adds fuel to the fire as well to just get out on the field of play and have his plate, talk for him and everything. So I'm going to lean with you as well on the Saints there.
Yeah, it kind of feels like, and I've actually thought it was last year was the farewell tour. I wasn't sure Breeze would come back this year, but it feels like a farewell tour for him and for Sean Payton. And, I think they're going to come out of the gate swinging for sure. And he wants to really solidify his legacy in the NFL. And I think beating Brady the first round out is a great way to do that. I have a question though. So I know Gronk didn't play last season. He's back this season because Brady's back and whatnot. But how conditioned can he possibly be? Like, this is not going to be the same Gronk that we've seen in the past, right? He's had 1,000 cheeseburgers by now, right?
That's right. I mean, over his 6-year career, he averages 13 touchdowns and 1,300 yards a season. The Bucs, they just signed Leonard Fournette, and so he wasn't even part of the equation 2 weeks ago. You know what I mean? And so you throw him in there, and that's going to open things up. I mean, that's a big addition for these players because then it's going to keep defenses honest. But as far as Gronkowski's production, he was already on the downturn and the downside before he left New England. His production. Yeah. So, I think that is a huge question mark. You're right that we just, until he can consistently go out there and put up some numbers, I think that you have to use caution when looking at Gronkowski for sure.
I live out here in Vegas, and so I hear the buzz and the books and the bars about, well, not the bars because they're all closed down, but, just about Gronk is coming back. He's going to be so dope, blah, blah, blah. And I think that's a very Joe Public way to think about this. Like, and it's a very Patriots fan way to think about this as well. Like, Gronk is not Gronk. He's not going to be Gronk again. He's going to be a different version. Maybe he's still a good version, but. You
Yeah,
got
I
it
think
right there.
in those short yardage situations near the end zone where you can, that's where he's going to be effective. But the longer routes and the different things, I think he's probably lost a step. And so I think that goes back to what I was saying earlier, that it feels like, because as you said, you're going out to the pubs and different things, and you hear these people talking about it in that manner. It's very much like the way that people spoke about the Browns last year.
Yeah.
So I think, that this is it's a public team, and so I'm more reserved about my feelings towards them, because I got caught up in that Browns hype last year myself. I have to admit, a little bit. So I'm a bit reserved on Tampa this year. But I think that as far as if they say, because they didn't have enough time to play in the preseason, that it's going to be offenses that are hurt the most, well, then it's going to be veteran offensive units which are going to be able to do the best. And clearly they have a veteran offensive unit in New Orleans. So,
Oh, absolutely. I had another question. Oh, speaking of the Browns, Chip Chirimbus, one of our other handicappers at picksandparlays.net, I'm sure you know him well. He really likes the Browns to go over their season win total this year. He's looking at them in a bounce back situation. So I'm just sharing some information that I heard from a guy who knows what he's talking about. Okay.
I think that's a solid pick as well. They have a fairly decent schedule to do that. A bit, better than the one that they had last year. They have a really tough matchup out of the gate with Baltimore. But I think, Chip, definitely that's a good call.
I love that guy.
Yeah, no, he's fantastic. A legend.
He is.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to move into some baseball?
Absolutely. And so Rye Cape here, just one last thing, because we are getting a little interaction here. He's saying no way Gronk is healthy enough to play all 16 games. So that's a really good point too.
You know what you're talking about.
Yeah, if we can get a prop bet on whether or not he's even going to play 16 games, you know what I mean?
What happened with the total in that game? Didn't it move like 3 points in a half a second or something?
I'm not 100% positive, but I can find that out in just 2 seconds.
I kind of remember Sean Higgs saying that the under was going to be the play because it dropped 3 points like super duper fast.
Right. I think that the under there could be value in the under, playing the under in a lot of these games and in prime time games, just because of the different conditions and the less playing time. So that one is currently at 47.5, and it opened at 49.5. So it did drop 2 points. Yeah.
It's a significant line move.
Yeah, absolutely. So the money's coming in on that under.
Yeah. Especially when the game's still 3 days away. I might wait and see if that ticks up, or maybe in play it at a higher number, or just maybe stay off of it altogether.
Right.
Okay.
So if we're going to talk a little baseball for Friday night, for tonight, right?
Mm-hmm. For tonight,
and so there's a really interesting matchup going on in Buffalo.
Yes, the Buffalo Blue Jays, formerly the Toronto Blue Jays. They're going to be taking on Jacob deGrom and the Mets. The Blue Jays are going to start Chase Anderson. deGrom has been pretty lights out. He usually is. He's like, a 3-time Cy Young Award winner, a million times? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, he's putting up Cy Young numbers again, for sure.
Yeah. It's what he does, Chase Anderson, not so great, very, I call him rinky-dink. He's kind of a rinky-dink pitcher. I got some stats here. deGrom's 3-1, 1.69 ERA. He has 70 strikeouts and 11 walks over 48 innings. That's freaking impressive, man.
That's amazing. Unbelievable.
Chase Anderson has thrown 21 strikeouts in 23 2/3 of an inning. So it's a huge difference there. Huge difference. But what I was looking more at was, I feel like it's easy to say Mets win the game, deGrom's on the mound, but that's not how it always works out. And so on Wednesday, I was all stressed out about the Padres and how well they bat, and do I get involved because I think the bats are going to send balls out of the park. I feel this way about these two teams also. In the last 5 games, the Mets have scored 36 runs. and the Blue Jays have scored 34. And I was shocked that the Mets scored that many runs because, like I said, I'm so focused on the Blue Jays being the heavy hitting team here.
Yes, the Mets bats have come alive of late.
Yeah, I feel like I want to take this over the 8.5. Mets are the favorite at minus 185 for those of you at home that are counting. But yeah, so 185 Mets, total of 8.5. It opened at 8 and it ticked right up. I think the Mets are going to beat up on Anderson, first of all. So there's your 4 runs in the first 5 right there. I'm not going to take it under first 5. And then as soon as DeGrom comes out, I think the Blue Jays have to open up to be able to catch up with whatever the Mets just did to Anderson in the first 5. So that's my analysis on it. What do you think about that?
You know what? I really like that play as well. I wanted to just bring up a couple of things as well. A couple of sluggers that have done really well against DeGrom in the past, and that's Randall Grichuk and Travis Shaw. And they're actually both batting .375 in 8 at-bats apiece against DeGrom. And so these are players that have had success against him. Toronto's bats, they've been putting up big numbers, especially in this Buffalo Park as well. Many of their home games have been trending to the over there.
Yeah.
So, I think the possibility of this one eclipsing that number, could easily be coming in the 5th or 6th inning even.
Yeah, I can't get behind a first 5 under, even with DeGrom. Anderson's just not that good. What's the weather like for this game? That's something important for you people at home to remember. If you're new at handicapping, if you're doing baseball or a football game, it's always very important to check the weather. Very important. Is it going to be wind blowing in from Wrigley or wind blowing out of Wrigley? It makes a huge difference in your total. You know what I'm saying? So everyone check your weather.
Absolutely. That's a very good point.
This is a public service announcement from Parlays.
Yeah, live cap.
The live cap. Anybody at home have any thoughts on this game?
Let me just quickly check the White Sox or Tigers. They want to know. So
White Sox.
White Sox. I mean, even I like the. You want to possibly think about the run line in that game, obviously. And Rycape is saying Mets team total over 5. And so that's actually, and Chi Sox team total over 5. Those, that's interesting. That's a good call there, Rycape.
All right. I'm looking up White Sox right now because I'm not exactly sure what's going on in that game. But what I know about the White Sox is that they are a home run happy team. What I know about the Tigers is that just when you think the Tigers couldn't possibly win a game, they freaking do. So I do watch out for them.
20 and 23.
Giolito. But how are you going to lay a minus 259, friend? How are you going to do that? You got to run line it.
Exactly. And he has just been so fantastic at home. Over his past 3 starts at home, he's posted a 1.71 ERA with 31 strikeouts over 21 innings at home there. So, yeah. Giolito is the man.
He is fantastic. Yeah. I have I do all my own stats and I do them all by hand. So it's all these tally marks of strikes and earned runs and whatnot. And every time I do his numbers, I smile really big. I've watched this guy over the years and he's really coming into his own and really dominating this season. So I'm proud of him. What can I say?
Right. And so we have a little bit of interaction over here on Facebook. Ephraim Morphin, he must have missed our first pick there. We were talking about Toronto there. He wants to know, are you guys like over, under? And so, yeah, just let him know. I personally like the over, but Ali liked the under in that one.
I like the under. What can I say? But I mean, I'm not going to talk you off it. I'm not talking you off the over. Right. I don't think I'm super right here or anything, but I've just been playing the under this whole series and it's cashed every time except the last one.
Right.
And that's just where I'm at on it. And I'm doing, what do you think, Efren, about the side? I'm taking the Celtics. What do you think on the sides?
Well, we'll wait to hear what he has to say because it's a little bit delayed there.
Yeah, I got time, Efren. I'm here all day. Actually, for about 10 more minutes. So get your questions in now. Okay, so I looked up the run line for the White Sox. They're only minus 130. That's a decent price.
So there you go.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
So then that leaves us one last game to discuss, and that's an NHL game tonight. And this has been another interesting series. It's the Tampa Bay Lightning, and it's the New York Islanders. And so it's been, it has been a strange series. What can I say? I suggested, I believe it was a play on the Islanders on the puck line on the show the last time there.
Yes. Sure did.
So,
and I liked that play. Like, I thought it was.
And it did cash. That
yeah,
one.
I liked that play.
And I also had a play on the under as a premium selection over at Picks and Parlays. So that was good as well. But yeah, game one was 8-2 win for Tampa. And then Tampa won 2-1 in game two. So that was a weird game because it was 1-0 for almost the entire game. New York scored in the first minute. And then Tampa got a late one to tie it up, and then they scored with 8 seconds left in regulation to win 2-1. So yeah, New York must just feel like they lost, that they got that one stolen from them.
Right.
So I have a play on the total in this one.
Okay.
At Picks and Parlays, but I think that, and for our show play today, I'm going to give out a pick on the Islanders. I like the Islanders. I think that if they go down 3-0, that's going to be too big of a hole for them to climb out of. This is going to be the game where they give their best shot. I mean, they did last time too, but this really will be. Tampa's been playing at an unbelievably high level. At some point, a letdown, I think, is imminent. It's difficult to play at that high, extremely high level without some sort of mental letdown or lapse at some point in a series.
Right.
Or during the playoffs. And it happened to them a few times before in the playoffs here. So do I think that the Islanders are going to win this series? I don't, probably not, but I think that they're a well-coached team. I think they're extremely disciplined. Their strength is their depth over 4 lines. I think that the goaltenders are a wash in this series completely. Just throw that factor out the window. Yeah. But yeah, no, I think the Islanders, they haven't in fact dropped 3 decisions in a row since losing the last 7 games of the regular season. So that was a long time ago, and I just don't see that happening again. I think that the Islanders offer really good value at plus money here to get back into the series.
Well, I do love plus money. It's kind of my thing.
Plus money, honey.
Yes. Huh. Well, I'm going to completely defer to you on this one because I'm not a hockey chick yet. I'm getting there.
Right.
Okay. I really liked your analysis and your play on the last game. I took it. I cashed it. So whatever you say, I'm down, Nick. Okay. That's where I'm at. Can I just ask you, just because I'm from Vegas, I'm living in Vegas, can I just ask you about the Knights? Like, what do you think about the Knights series? Just a quick blip.
Mm-hmm. That is another interesting series, of course. And the Stars won in overtime last night.
Right. And that tied it, right? They're 2-2 now?
No, it's now 2-1.
2-1.
So,
okay.
Yeah, Dallas has the 2-1 lead. They won 3-2 in overtime. And Vegas was playing from behind that entire game. They had to score 2 goals in that third period. And so now we go to game 4. And Las Vegas is still basically like a minus 200 favorite. And so obviously the odds makers, they think that Las Vegas is still the better team in this series, even though they're down 2-1. And they have struggled. Dallas has given them some issues. I do actually have a play on the total in this one already up at picksandparlays.net. But no, I think that if you don't mind, it's a little steep. But I think that Vegas is going to get back into this series and tie it up for sure. Absolutely. I just think that they're super talented. They're experienced. That offense, when it is clicking, it's just impossible to slow down. They have great goaltending and defense as well. their whole defense is not in question whatsoever. It's just been the offense which has struggled a bit, and that's pretty abnormal. So I don't expect that to happen again. I'm gonna take if you don't mind laying the price, I would suggest the Knights.
The word on the street, or like the big buzz around town, is like, Marc-Andre Fleury was our inaugural goalie, and he took us to the Stanley Cups and kind of carried the team on his back. And now we've got this other guy. And some people who bet on sports and care about things like business are like, screw Fleury, you're out, bro. Sorry. New guy come in. And then like the real homers and the deep fans are like, no, Fleury for life. And it's really kind of become this clashing of Knights fans within our own self. Like, whose side are you on? And
right.
I mean, I'm always on the side of the dude that's going to win the game for you, because that's why we're here, So, do you have any thoughts on the goalie from an outsider, from a Las Vegas outside perspective? Who should our goalie be, Nick?
I would say, I mean, the whole loyalty factor, of course, is great as far as a team. But I think, you have to go with the hot hand, whoever's been the hottest and most consistent at this time, and that's Lanier at this point. So I guess that's my answer to that. I think
all I wanted to know.
Yeah, Marc-Andre Fleury is just is fantastic. Is a legend. Will be he's a Hall of Famer. But it's hard to deny how well Robin Lanier has played, and I think, I would go with Lanier personally.
All right.
Hey, I wanted to just quickly, Efren Morphin, he came back with an answer there. He says he wants the Celtics to win, but Toronto has the motivation now. Toronto with the win, most likely, even though I wanted Celtics to win. And then over on Facebook or on YouTube, Trav Mula says, I think the Raptors are going to take it all.
Take it all? Like all? Or just the series all?
Yeah, that's he hasn't clarified that, but yeah.
Fair enough. I want the Celtics to win. I don't know. I'm kind of a homer when it comes to basketball, unless it's college basketball is different. But in the NBA, I like my teams that I like, and I ride with them. And sorry, Raptors, you're not a team that I like. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, they're getting maybe a little boring for some people, for sure.
I like Van Fleet. I mean, it's not that I don't like them. It's just like, I'm not following that. I watched Jason Tatum go to college. I know the Celtics from from coming up. I don't really know the Raptors the way that I know the Celtics or some of the other teams. So that's what it kind of comes down to for me. Because really, I'm a college basketball fan. I just watch my players go into the NBA and follow them a little bit. So, full disclosure, complete transparency.
Well, I hope we have a chance to talk about college basketball too in the future.
Yes, please bring it back. Bring it back.
For sure.
All right. Well, we got some really good comments today. We got some interactions.
That was great.
Today.
It was a better show, I think, overall here, and technically went off better, and all around was great. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And thank you guys, everyone who commented. Thank you all so much. We're doing this every Wednesday, every Friday at noon. And as we roll through it, we're going to add other handicappers to come in and talk, and different segments. So you guys can, participate more, give us your feedback and your opinions and stuff like that. So just hang in here with us. This is the live cap on Picks and Parlays. Tell your friends, noon Eastern every Wednesday and Friday.
Actually, 3 Eastern.
Oh, shoot. 3 Eastern every Wednesday and Friday. I'm in Vegas. I'm sorry.
I know. I'm on the West Coast too, but I'm always catching myself. Well, thanks, Allie. Thanks, everyone. That was great. All right.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see you guys on Wednesday. Have a great weekend. Make lots of money.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.